Pretty big weekend for the Lakers, who are 5.5 games ahead of the Clippers for the first place out west. So, Brian, how do Frank Vogel and the staff manage LeBron's workload down the stretch?
You know who decides what LeBron's workload is? His name is LeBron. That's how they decide. He likes to play. He doesn't want to sit out games. He has had that groin injury act up a few times. I expect him to go full bore this weekend. They have an East Coast road trip at the end of the month. I hate to tell folks, but there's a possibility that's where they could cut back a little bit. But they've been building. LeBron's been playing better and better. This is the best the Lakers have played all year. Don't talk to him about rest right now. He's thinking about playing and playing well.
Dahntay, you played with him.
Yeah, and you have to. I played for Frank and I played with LeBron, right? And they do a great job of communicating both people. So you find the plan that works for him, find out where he wants to be, because his rhythm is a big thing coming down the stretch. But he also loves to play basketball, right? So he wants to be involved in games. He doesn't want to sit down. So you just find that sweet spot, game here, game there. He's definitely when he's not going to play the last game of the year. So you'll just find a couple games for him to take off and just be able to keep his body together.
Yeah, and they have a back-to-back-to-back.
Yeah, we got
in April because of the
Because
Clippers.
of that rescheduled Clippers-Lakers game?
I don't he ain't going to play all three of those.
Or you can sit him out fourth quarters.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
My bad.
I looked this up because I wanted to know the numbers. He's
Yes.
played in 14 games this year where they had a 20-point or more lead in the fourth quarter. That seems like a lot, just to me. And he's played 86 minutes in the fourth quarter, which they had a 15-plus lead. I think that's an obvious place to cut back, just based on looking at that. And I don't know what the plan is for his body or how he feels about that. But those numbers both seem like they could go down, and the Lakers wouldn't suffer a whole ton.
Right.
As far as I see.
Well, this feeds into the next thing we're going to talk about, because there's only one team with a better record than the Lakers. They are the Milwaukee Bucks. They won big last night over the Pacers. They are now on pace to win 70.1 games. That would be amazing if they really could win 70.1 games somehow this season. And look, there's started the conversation about, do you value rest? Do you go for 70 games? People bring up the 2016 Warriors, which you were probably the first one to tell me going for 73 is not the reason that they lost those finals. You believe your team is the reason that they lost those finals.
No, I think it's a combination.
You do?
I think a combination, because peak performance is one thing you're trying to get to when you're trying to win a championship. You don't want to peak too early, because once you hit your peak, you can only hold it for a certain amount of time.
Did you think they were tired during that final series when you were going against them from trying to go for 73?
We thought they would be tired by the time they got to us. Like, it'd be, because at that point in time, the Cavs were tapering off a little bit, trying to take a little bit off and hold their peak longer. They kept rolling, and then you have to worry about injuries coming down the stretch. So the Milwaukee Bucks are going for 70 is a novelty. Like, you can go for 70 if you don't win a championship. It really doesn't matter. The Bulls are remembered because they got 70 and they won a championship. Right. So we have to keep that in mind, and winning the championship is the ultimate goal. Getting to the playoffs healthy, having your guys who had nagging injuries get to the playoffs and be there and be prepared to win. So I think that's the most important thing for them.
Now, for me, it's kind of what you said about LeBron. Giannis is resting so many of these fourth quarters anyway. I mean, he's playing less than 30 minutes a game a lot of the time.
I agree, and I think that's why you go for it. I mean, with the case with the Warriors, they'd already won something. They presumably knew how to get to that mountain, to the mountaintop. I think there's a decent amount of value in the Bucks in trying to simply figure out how to win those games for the sake of their fan base as much as for each other. You talk to people from Milwaukee, first thing they say all the time, think the Bucks are going to win 70? Think the Bucks are going to win 70? It's the only question I get anywhere I go in America. It matters to them, and I think it's going to matter to that team as well.
Yeah, I think you go for 70 if you have 69 wins on the last day of the season.
Right.
I don't think you change. What they're doing right now is working amazingly. I'm going to say this. If you win 70 games and then don't win the title, you're going to wish you didn't win 70, because you're going to hear about it for a long time. Ask the Warriors about that. So.
Right, but at some point, too, if they're not exerting themselves, which in many of these games, they're frankly not. They have a historic point differential. They're winning games by 13 points a game.
Status quo.
So are they supposed to try to start losing some games so they don't hit 70? I mean, what is
status quo? What they're doing
quote, not go for 70, what do you do?
Well, you sit Giannis for a week, what you do. But I'm saying.
Again, like you said with LeBron, you have that conversation with Giannis.
Well, I just think everything they're doing is fine. Don't change anything. If it results in 70, fine. If it doesn't, no pity party.
I want to check. Yeah, go ahead.
Most important thing is to get the '1 seed overall.
Yeah.
Right?
Got it.
You don't want to come on a Lakers field or a Clippers court for the first game of the NBA Finals if you get there. So getting the #1 seed is their goal.
They've got a 4-game lead.
Ding, ding, ding. That is the winner comment of the day.
They've got a 4-game lead, and if they win tomorrow,
yes,
it'll be a 6-game lead essentially because they get the tiebreaker.
Yes. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.